Okay, what's up everybody? Today I want to show you how I waterproof this shower. So we got our mortar bed down, our line drain installed, ready to go. And if you need to see any of those videos, I'm going to put the cards up so you can see those. I do have videos on those other things. Check them out after this video. Check out what we got here. You see we got our mortar bed down. Mortar bed is looking really nice. Nice and solid. We floated this on Friday. We got our hardy backer down on the floor. We're going to overlap that. Really nice looking dry pack mortar bed. I like this way better than a foam pan. We get the slope wherever we want it. Everything just fits in there really nice. I got a nice little slope coming back the other way. Here's our Schluter Kerdi line. And you can see we have zero. We're zeroed out right there. And as we go along, we get our nice drop. Almost an inch right there, down to 0 right there. So we got nice fall, 1/4 inch per foot running down, and this baby's ready to waterproof. Okay, so I'm solo today, so I apologize for the weird camera angles. I love it when I have somebody here working with me. I have somebody to get all the right camera angles, so just bear with me on this one. I'm gonna do the best that I can. I'm gonna go ahead and start right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start spreading my thin set. So what I got is a 3/16 V-notch trowel. And I got my thin set to a pretty loose consistency just so it'll hold a notch. A 6-inch taping knife is a must when you're doing these pans. Get a really good bond, really good mechanical bond on here. I'm going to have to do something kind of tricky in this corner, so bear with me. So here's one thing about Kerdi, and this is stuff that's just not so cut and dry, you know. In a perfect world, this stuff works just like how the instructions show. My experience with any of these sheet membranes, and again, it's not just picking on Kerdi, is that you end up with kind of odd wrinkles sometimes that aren't going to waterproof real nice. And that's why I like to go over everything with a roll-on. My roll-on of choice right now is Ardex SK. But you get these wrinkles and things don't always lay flat. And if you've ever worked with Kerdi, unless everything is perfectly straight and square, which it's not because we're always dealing with slopes and things, you end up with these little wrinkle areas that don't always want to lay down, especially when they have memory like this flap. You know, it comes pre-assembled and all folded up. I'm going to show you right now. But you can see this flap that's not wanting to lay, and there's just a few other areas that are not wanting to lay perfectly flat with this flap. You kind of see this little wrinkle right here. You know, you got to get kind of creative. It's not always real cut and dry on how to put these things in. So what I'll do a lot of the times is where there's a wrinkle, I'll make a slice. And that's the drawback to sheet membrane, is some of these awkward little folds, especially with these line drains. Some of these awkward little folds don't want to lay flat. Next thing I'm going to do is put my sheet down on the rest of the floor. You want to make sure you don't put too much thin set down. That's a mistake that some people make, is they use like a 1/4 inch notch or a 3/8 square notch. You don't want too much thin set under your membrane. It'll cause uneven bubbles in there. Air can get trapped in there. So a V-notch or the Kerdi trowel that they have is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this baby out. This is just a nice little flat trowel that I'm going to use to get the air out and to get that nice mechanical bond that I'm looking for. Here, so you got nice coverage here, really nice coverage. Just one little spot right here that didn't get it, but watch, now it got it. Okay, here's a little close-up of this detail here. Getting everything lapped out. Got all of my extra thin set pushed out there. And making sure there's no air bubbles in that at all. I let the rapid set thin set up. You can see it's mostly cured here. But you know, I kind of fought this one a little bit, to be honest. It's when you're doing these curbless entries, it's kind of tricky with different slopes and folds and everything, and I got like you know, the flap. I got a little inside corner that I had to cut down because a full corner won't fit in here, and just with different angles it creates pinches in the Kerdi membrane, in the Ardex membrane, whatever membrane it is. And that's one of the reasons why I like to go over everything with a roll-on waterproofing, because it's really hard to get it perfect without any little seams or bubbles. And a big mistake that I see a lot of people do is just take more thin set and goop it in, you know, wherever you have a little overlap. Thin set's not waterproof. If you have a gap and you just shove thin set in there, you know, you're not doing a whole lot of good. So I like using the Ardex 8+9 to fill those gaps and just to go everything. To me, it's just a fail-safe. It's a better way of doing it. Again, is it necessary? That's a good question. A lot of people would say it's overkill, but I would rather be safe than sorry, and it's really not that big of a step. I mean, it took me, you know, an hour or so to get everything down in here, you know, the membrane, the band, and all that, and to mix up some 8+9 and put it over the seams, and I even put it over the whole pan. You know, really that'll take me another 20 minutes, half hour. I'm going to sleep a lot better at night knowing that I have a roll-on waterproofing membrane over all of this stuff. So here's my Ardex 8, here's the 9, and you mix these two together and you get a cementitious roll-on waterproofing, which I really like. It's really strong. It's a really good way to go. I always get a roller, one of these little weenie rollers, and a brush, and I'll mix it up, go ahead and start lathering it on, and we'll go from there. I actually like my roller not to roll, just to drag. It seems to do better. It applies more at one time. That's the way sometimes we used to pin the rollers. This one just got gummed up, but instead of rolling, it drags and just kind of acts like a big paintbrush. And I like how much more it leaves on the surface when you do that. Really, to me, it's really important to get the corners and anywhere there's a little wrinkle or fold that allows anything to get in. Okay, so you can see finished product with my 8+9 on there. Really solid installation. We got our waterproof Durock on the wall. Our niche is all done the same way. Window wrap is all done the same way. Our transition onto the regular floor, I went a good 18 inches or so out onto the bathroom floor. And then most importantly, our corners. Those corners are really the places. In all of my testing I've done, the seepage all started in the corners. So we got it all ready. We're gonna float tomorrow. Make sure to keep watching the videos. This is part of the playlist called Grandpa's Bath. So we got many more to come, so stay tuned. Watch this video series coming up. Again, my videos are meant to encourage and inspire you, and we'll see you on the next video.